Hey everyone, my name is Harrison Lewis and my partner is Tim Le Griffin, and welcome to our presentation for History of Planning on London in the 19th Century. London is the capital and largest city of England. It sits on the River Thames in the southeast of the country. London is also the largest city of the United Kingdom, which is located on the island of Great Britain in Western Europe, with England covering 5/8 of the island, which lies in the North Atlantic Ocean. The United Kingdom is made up of England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, which is located in the northeast of the island of Ireland to the west of Great Britain. England shares land borders with Wales to its west and Scotland to its north, and is separated from continental Europe by the North Sea to the east and the English Channel to the south. London, then called Londinium, was established on the current site of the city of London by the Romans around roughly AD 47 to 50. Early Londinium occupied an area of just 1.4 kilometres squared and was situated on the River Thames, where it was narrow enough for the construction of a Roman bridge but still deep enough to ensure ease of access for ships to support trade and commerce with the rest of Europe. Towards the end of the 1st century, Londinium had expanded significantly to become the largest city on the island of Britain, then called Britannia, with a population of about 30 to 60,000 people. The city served as an important commercial centre and trading hub in Roman Britain. However, from about 150 AD, its importance declined substantially, which has been attributed to the growth and development of regional centres and weakening communication with Rome amidst the decline of the Roman Empire as a whole. The Industrial Revolution began in Britain, which triggered significant population growth and urban expansion. Although much of the land around London was owned by the aristocracy and the church, capitalism drove the city's expansion to meet the housing demands of the rising middle class. As improvements in transport technology and purchasing power progressed, free-ranging building speculation enveloped surrounding villages and towns as the urban boundary of London continued to expand. In 1750, its built-up area measured about 8 kilometres from east to west. By 1850, this had tripled to 24 kilometres. In the 19th century, London became the capital of the British Empire, the heart of international finance and trade, and the largest city in the world. From 1850 to 1860, it grew threefold to have a population of 3.1 million from 1 million. Much of the population were not Londoners, with over 38% being born elsewhere. The Irish were the largest immigrant group, with many other immigrants coming from mainland Europe, China, India, and Africa, as well as a thriving Jewish community being present. With increased enforcement of Building Act regulations from 1774, the 19th century saw housing designs in London become increasingly simple and standardised, and largely consisted of terraced, semi-detached, and detached housing. Urban density was the most pronounced in the city's core and along major arterial roads, with substantial variation in the layout of streets, gardens, and decoration. The city's physical expansion was not constrained either by military defences, which was a highly influential factor on continental Europe, or by the intervention of state power, which was evident in the town planning of Paris, Vienna, Rome, and other capitals of continental Europe. The new Palace of Westminster in the top left image was built from 1840 to 1876 after the original was demolished in 1834 due to a fire. Big Ben was built in 1859 and sits at the north end of the Palace of Westminster. The lower image is of Trafalgar Square, a public square in the city of Westminster in central London, which was built in 1840 and is another icon of London. On the right is an image of the railway map of central London in 1899. The London Underground was opened in 1863 as the world's first underground railway. It used gas-lit wooden carriages which were hauled by steam locomotives, and it was hailed as a success, carrying 38,000 passengers on the opening day and inspiring other cities to follow suit in developing such infrastructure. This is an image of the Tower Bridge in construction in 1892, another iconic symbol of London. This was built between 1886 and 1894 and crossed the River Thames. It is a world-famous symbol and remains a significant tourist attraction. These are two images of 19th century London suburbia. Regent Street's layout was completed in 1825. The East End slums demonstrate the unsanitary and squalid living conditions in the poorer areas of 19th century London. From the end of the 19th century and into the 20th, urban renewal strategies and slum clearance saw areas such as the East End undergo urban transformations to meet higher standards of living. The late 19th century also saw the development of the modern London sewerage system, which coincided with this renewed focus of improving living conditions, public health, and sanitation, paving the way for London to become a world-class and highly developed urban centre that remained the envy of many countries for many years to come. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you found this presentation interesting and insightful.